Welcome to Discovery Weekly. It's the bonus show from the podcast Discovery Show, where we talk about all of the other things we've discovered throughout the week. I'm Kirk.
And I am Zach. And for anybody who is, I don't know, computer minded and they want to like practice a little bit of programming / messing with some hardware, I found something pretty cool. It is a smartwatch that has an e-paper screen and is a $50 open source kit. Let me go ahead and switch this over so you can see what it looks like. It's pretty cool.
I need to see that. So like the e-reader, like the Kindle Paperwhite.
And so you can see on this, like it's got a lot of the, it looks a lot like that, which really helps with battery life. But essentially this makes it so you can program, install some hardware, kind of do all this stuff together. So it kind of looks like this. And basically what you do is you pay for this kit, and the kit is called Squarefumi, and it's open source. It's Arduino powered, and it's got a 1.5 inch paper e-screen or e-paper screen. And then all of this stuff is $50. And so what you end up doing is you can learn, and all of this stuff is on GitHub. So you can go pick a different watch face. There's one that looks like the battle scene from Pokemon, and that can be your watch face. And you basically, cool. You can like program all of this stuff yourself.
Okay, so do you have to be like a really good programmer to be able to do it, or because it's on GitHub, good programmers have kind of shared it?
Yes, that, and also if you are a good programmer, you can push it. You know what I mean? You could do more if you really know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can go just get stuff that's already been compiled in GitHub, and they'll show you like how to install it, everything like that. It's got a battery, it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, it's got a 3-axis accelerometer, it's got 4 buttons that basically they don't have a design thing because it's up to you.
Because you
whatever you want it to do, you can do that. And so I just thought it was a really cool thing. It is a little bit of a challenge, you know, so you put together your own PC now. So there's a lot of that, like you're installing the hardware and you're trying to make sure you don't break anything. And then you have to go and install the software. And so it's kind of that.
And then it crashes over and over and you're like, oh shoot, what did I do?
Yeah. But like apparently if you turn off the like the connectivity, you know, the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, then it'll last like 5 to 7 days on one charge because it's an e-ink screen.
Oh yeah, because those don't take that much. Dude, those Kindle Paperwhites.
Oh, they last forever.
I don't think I've charged mine in like 4 months.
Yeah, no, if you don't use
it forever.
It just keeps going. It does not move.
It has 5 flux capacitors.
Yeah, I think you have to buy those extra. I'm not sure. You'll have to look it up. But it's just a really cool thing if you'd like to kind of mess around, like if you're into like Raspberry Pi type stuff where you get to mess around with programming something. This is a smartwatch that you can do that with. So it's kind of a cool thing.
No, that sounds really cool. I might have to look into that because I don't have a smartwatch anymore, and I kind of think I want one. I don't know. I'm always worried I'm going to break it at work, so I never wear it. I had an Apple Watch for a while, and I never wore it because I was always worried I was going to break it.
I could see that. Yeah, there's definitely been moments where I was like, that'd be kind of cool, but then sometimes our job gets intense enough that you can mess it up.
How many times have you just cut yourself at our job? I mean,
I've cut myself. I've ripped my pants off multiple times.
We break ourselves at work. So it's easy to break watches.
And I ripped my pants like open, like mostly off of my body.
I forgot about that.
I'm sure Jenny hasn't. That was the most unfortunate part is I ripped my pants, and then Kirk's wife shows up to get, I think she was dropping off the kids. It was over the summer. Yeah. I tried to like walk by like sideways, but she noticed because literally all of my underwear was out. So it was unfortunate.
Oh, it was great. It was funny. So I discovered the father of modern plastic surgery.
Oh boy. I should show them the statue, right?
But
Here,
what
take
was
take a look.
fascinating, yeah, go ahead. What was fascinating is how
Here it is.
long ago he started doing plastic surgery. So this is in ancient Egypt, well, not Egypt, India. I'm not good at pronouncing names. It's Sushruta, 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 Sushruta. There we go.
Sushruta seems good.
Sushruta. So this is the 7th and 6th century BCE. He was a physician in ancient India, known today as the father of Indian medicine and father of plastic surgery, for inventing and developing surgical procedures. His work on the subject, the Sushruta Samhita, or Sushruta's Compendium, is considered the oldest text in the world on plastic surgery. So not only did he do this plastic surgery forever ago, but he did it like when there was, I'm just gonna have to read some of this article. It just kind of blew my mind. I'm gonna stop trying to say Indian words because it's not great. This specific type of medicine, Ayurvedic, is among the oldest now I can't read anything. I got it in my own head. Is one of the oldest medical systems in the world, dating back to the Vedic period of India. The term Ayurveda translates to life knowledge or life science, and is the practice of holistic healing which incorporates standard medical knowledge with spiritual concepts and herbal remedies in treatment, as well as prevention of diseases. And I want to read a little bit of some of his quotes, and I'm going to take some of it out because it goes into some kind of gross stuff about like nose jobs, essentially. He significantly developed different surgical techniques, such as using the head of an ant to sew sutures, and most notably invented the practice of cosmetic surgery. His specialty was rhinoplasty, the reconstruction of the nose, and his book instructs others on exactly how a surgeon should proceed. So I'm going to take some of the pieces out, but I want you to get the parts where he talks about like what they used to use as their ancient techniques. This is his quote. "The portion of the nose to be covered should be first measured with a leaf." Measure it with a leaf. Okay.
I'm already not liking this surgery. I'd be like, is that a leaf? I'm out.
And then gross, not going to say it. Skin flaps. Nope. Gross. The physician then should place the skin on the nose and stitch the two parts swiftly, keeping the skin properly elevated by inserting 2 tubes of aranda, which is basically 2 sticks up where the nostrils should be, in the position of the nostrils so that the new nose gets proper shape. The skin thus properly adjusted, it should then be sprinkled with a powder of licorice, red sandalwood, and barberry plants. Finally, it should be covered with cotton, and clean sesame oil should be constantly applied. That was his quote. And I love how they're talking about like using all of this like oils and licorice and sandalwood and all this other stuff. And here's the anesthetic. Wine was used as an anesthetic, and patients were encouraged to drink heavily before a procedure.
Oh my God.
When the patient was drunk to a point of insensibility, he or she was tied to a low-lying wooden table.
Oh God.
To prevent movement, and the operation would begin with the surgeon sitting on a stool and tools on a nearby table. The use of wine led to the development of an anesthetic involving both alcohol and cannabis incense.
Okay, so people just got super wrecked, and that was supposed to stop you. They would get super drunk and super high, and then they could apparently just have nose surgery, and that was fine.
It's great. It's so like the ingenuity that they had back then to either induce sleep or dull the sense to a stupor during procedures such as rhinoplasty. Let's be honest. What do you think that these things that they're injecting in us, or the gases they give us, are
stronger?
It's just a stronger version of that.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is much stronger.
But I want to kind of circle back around to like the seriousness of it, because it wasn't like he wasn't doing rhinoplasties for, rich like Indian women that wanted better noses. It was actually in response to a really serious thing back then. It says rhinoplasty was an especially important development in India because of the long-lasting tradition of rhinotomy, which is the amputation of the nose.
What?
Which was a form of punishment. So like convicted criminals would often have their noses amputated to mark them as untrustworthy. But the thing that's really messed up is it was frequently done to women that were accused of adultery, and a lot of times without any like proof of it.
Oh,
so
like
they would
witch
literally
trial style, where just this
witch
would happen
trial
because
style.
they're a woman.
Yep. So they would literally cut their noses off. And once branded in this fashion, an individual had to live with the stigma for the rest of his or her life. And that's where he got the idea and the reasoning. That's why he was doing these reconstructive surgeries to offer a hope of redemption and normalcy. I don't know. It was a crazy article. Ancient medicine, which is just nuts, but also like for a very, almost like in a good way, plastic surgery, but for a good thing. I don't know. I thought it was a crazy article.
Like,
I learned a lot.
Cosmetic surgery has always had a side to it that's not like elective. You know what I mean? Because burn victims, cancer survivors, there's a lot of people who need like corrective surgery, not like elective surgery. So it's not one of those things where it's always had just kind of that stigma. And no, but it is crazy that he was figuring out how to do this that long ago and was in any way successful, and they're just smoking weed and drinking. Just like, hey, just go get really messed up. This is gonna hurt. Like, we're gonna tie you to the table, but you need to be really messed up when we do that.
It's like, I'm hoping that happens like in the waiting room or something, because if you've got cannabis incense while the guy is doing the surgery, I mean,
maybe it helps them.
Maybe he'll be really chill. So you have a steady hand.
So I found a discovery this week, and I found it in a really stupid way. There's a subreddit called Lost Redditors, which is just people posting to the wrong subreddit really confidently. So like, I don't even know what it was
Pretty funny.
where he was trying to post, but he posted this thing about how kiwis help you sleep. And I was like, what? And so I looked this up, and I found not just kiwis, but 9 great foods and drinks that will help you fall asleep at night. And we all need that sometimes. Number 1, almonds. They're good for a lot of different reasons. They have a lot of good stuff in there. They have a lot of nutrients and everything like that. They don't have, essentially, they think that a lot of these things, they help produce melatonin, which helps you relax, is basically what it comes down to. And so that does that.
That stuff works. I mean, it's natural occurring. We that's what makes us sleepy at night.
Yeah, and then turkey, obvious one. Every year at Thanksgiving, everyone knows this, but it has the tryptophan in it, which increases production of melatonin. Then you have chamomile tea. So same type of thing. It's got tons of antioxidants. It's really good for you. In a 2011 study, if you consumed 270 milligrams of chamomile extract twice daily, they fell asleep 15 minutes faster and experienced less nighttime awakening compared to those who didn't consume it. And then it comes.
So is chamomile supposed to help you sleep better or get sleepy? I've never
both.
Okay.
Yeah, they say that it's good for you in general. I think a lot of teas, there's not really an upper limit. Like, drink tea, it's good for you in a lot of different ways. It has antioxidants. It has a bunch of chemicals in it that are good for you, like phytochemicals. But this one, they say chamomile, it promotes sleepiness and it will improve your sleep quality.
Nice.
And then there's kiwis. And this is the one they brought me here, but I was like, what's happening? But it's true, at least to some level. It has tons of vitamins in it, vitamin K, vitamin C, folate, potassium, and it helps benefit your digestive health. It reduces inflammation and lowers your cholesterol. It's basically great. But kiwis are rich in serotonin and antioxidants, both of which may improve sleep quality when eaten before bed. So just keep some kiwis by your bed, and you can go to sleep well. I'll go through the last
Do you
one
like
quick.
kiwis?
I love kiwis. I think it tastes great.
Dude, I found a kiwi the other day that I'd never seen this variety. I think they sell them like everywhere now, but I think they're called like golden something kiwis, and they're more firm when they're ripe. So they're not like as squishy like when you like the old regular kiwis. If they're firm, they don't taste good. These that you can eat them when they're firm, but they have more of a tart sweetness. Oh my God, it's the best kiwi ever. Because I've always liked kiwi, but this one was like a next level. I'm gonna have to bring some in so you guys can try them.
Yeah, I mean, I really like kiwis. Okay, I'll go through the last ones fast. Tart cherry juice contains sleep-promoting hormone melatonin and may help induce a good night's sleep. Fatty fish. So keep a can of tuna by your bed because it's a great source of vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, which have sleep quality improving elements. Walnuts, also, they have melatonin, they have healthy fats, same type of thing. So basically, I'm seeing a lot from this that essentially eating a well-balanced diet and having all the vitamins and minerals you need helps you sleep better. So maybe that's a takeaway is eat well. Passion flower tea. So this one's all crazy. It has a pigeonin and the ability to increase gamma aminobutyric acid production, and this may influence sleep. Number 9, white rice, because it's high on the glycemic index, and it'll make you go to sleep because you're full on rice.
So is that why we get so sleepy after we go eat Korean food?
Yes.
That's just
it might have to do with the quantity of Korean food.
Yeah, the amount of food that we eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the We As Start Talking podcast. The We As Start Talking podcast is a place for great conversations, topics, and stories from people just like you and me. This podcast is focused on changing the world, one conversation at a time.
Each episode features a new guest along with their 3 hosts. They explore raw, honest, vulnerable, and fun subjects, all in an effort to start talking. I listened to a couple of episodes that were great, and I listened to where they interviewed Gary Arndt, a travel blogger who was he had an amazing story of how he got into it and everything like that, as well as I listened to a 2-part special where they talked to the co-founders of Tether, an app focused on breaking down the walls of toxic masculinity. If you crave truth, compassion, understanding, and real-life stories, and you want to be entertained, then you've come to the right place.
With episodes released on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, there's always a great conversation waiting for you. The We As Start Talking podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the We As Start Talking website at www.weas.ca. That's WEAS.ca. At the website, you can meet the host of We As Start Talking and feel free to reach out to the team and say hello.
The We As Start Talking podcast, making the world a better place, one conversation at a time. All right, so you were just talking about sleepy foods a little bit ago, and I found an article about sleepwalking. And I don't know if you guys know very much about Mike Birbiglia. I don't know all that much. I've listened to some of his comedy. I think the guy's funny. The guy is very, of course, he's a comedian, but he's a good one. He's got that self-deprecating, really funny humor. But they did Rolling Stones did an interview on him in it was like mid 2000s, like 2012, something like that. And he was coming out with a new stand-up routine or stand-up special. And this was the question. And the thing is, this is a short discovery, but it just kind of blew my mind. He has really, really bad sleepwalking that he does. And this is the question. At the climax of Sleepwalk with Me, which is the name of his special, which you directed and starred in, your character jumps through the second-story window of a La Quinta Inn while he's asleep. something that you actually did in real life because you suffer from REM behavior disorder. Do you really go to bed now with mittens and a sleeping bag to restrain yourself? So,
Does he?
yes, he does. He says my sleeping bag is in my suitcase because I just got back from a trip. The mittens are here too. But I don't use them all the time because they feel restrictive and warm and not comfy. But he has to literally like tie himself into a sleeping bag when he goes anywhere because he literally, while sleepwalking, jumped out of a second-story window at a La Quinta because he was dreaming that there was missiles about to hit the building.
And that is why they lock the windows at hotels.
So this is, and there was one more question in regards to it. It says, your bedroom is on the second floor of this building. Isn't that dangerous? And his answer was, we just moved in a couple weeks ago and we ordered shutters for our windows, which are essentially a wall when they're closed. They haven't come in yet. So in the meantime, we've put like pillows and furniture in the window frames. All the couch pillows from downstairs. It's absurd. Sometimes when I'm on tour on the wrong floor of a hotel, my wife and I take a couch and tilt it up against the window. If housekeeping comes, they think that we're Johnny Depp or something, like we're on drugs and we trash the room. I think this guy's eating way too many kiwis.
Way too many kiwis.
Way too many kiwis. I just thought it was funny and just this very interesting quirk of Mike Birbiglia
that
I did not know about. I do not. I did a few times when I was a kid.
I never sleepwalked. I sleep talked and I sleep attacked Jordan.
I do remember you sleep attacking a friend. You literally jumped over me onto him and acted like you were going to beat him up or like he was getting you or something. I don't know. It was a thing.
I don't really remember it.
I remember it. And then I remember one time we had a sleepover at your house where other friends were there and they went to sleep before us. Do you remember this? It was Shane and Sam, and they both started sleep talking to each other.
Oh, I do remember that.
They started sleep talking to each other while some of us were awake in the room. And I was like, oh my God. It was what?
It's very odd.
I remember what they said. I swear, Shane like sat up and he said, show me the money or something like that. And Sam's like, I got it. Do you remember?
That does sound very familiar, actually.
And then they both went right back to sleep. Oh, man.
No,
I remember that.
My youngest brother was a sleepwalker. He would do stuff. He would like wander around and like he would open doors and he would leave. And like one time he like, I think he went and got in the bathtub in like the middle of the night and like was just like sitting in it. And but he was always very, very like impressionable while he was sleepwalking. You could be like, hey, go back to bed, be like, no, okay. And then you just wander off. And so it's weird to be around somebody that's sleepwalking. I would sleep talk more than anything though.
Yeah. I used to sleepwalk when I was a kid, but it wasn't a regular thing.
Okay. So I discovered something that is really interesting, and it kind of mixes on a couple things I've been researching, and I found it. There is a game called Decentraland. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
It is a VR platform that is built on Ethereum blockchain. And so this is an entire VR world. You can go do VR stuff. You can buy land. They have like little parcels that are all like everything is monitored completely and stored on a blockchain. They have land that you can buy. You can go set up whatever you want there. You know, you can build like a little town. You can build like an interactive type game. You can do 3D scenes. You can do whatever you want, really. Some of them are like also put into like districts. So there's things that are, it's more like a community based things. But it's all stored on decentralized network, and all of the ownership and the governance is done like it's blockchain, like it's a token. The in-game currency is called Mana, and it is tradable on Coinbase or wherever else. It is a literal cryptocurrency that is the currency inside this game.
What's it called?
It's called Decentraland.
No, but what was the currency?
Mana, MANA.
So like the magic currency, not currency, but like the magic thing that from most games and stuff.
Yeah. But essentially they tell you get a crypto wallet because it uses Ethereum blockchain to record the ownership of all digital assets and tradable items. Every single thing that you make and sell in that game is for the cryptocurrency. They've done all kinds of crazy stuff about what you can do like with this because, okay, there's artists, and what they've done is they've recreated their art digitally, but it's just a marketplace. It's like a website for their art. So you can walk around in VR, look at a 3D picture, but you can buy it with the cryptocurrency.
Do you have to have VR to play it?
I think so. I think it's a VR game.
Dang.
Like, I think it's because
this sounds like something I want to do like right now. This sounds really interesting.
It's crazy because like
I need to at least look at it. Do you have any like visuals of it?
Let me see if I can find a visual of the game itself, because like that's the thing is like this is all it's so dense,
the tech part,
that like the tech is a huge part of it, and I don't know. Let me see if I can find something here. But yeah, it essentially ends up being, it looks like a VR game. You know what I mean? It just looks like VR wandering around. There's like,
and it's like an open world type game thing.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, it has like some boundaries. It's not like completely open like Eve, you know, it's smaller than like Eve. But here, I'll just show you the Google image things here.
I'm on their website now. I'm looking at it. I wanted to get a visual of it.
Just kind of like cartoony VR. But all of this is built on Ethereum blockchain.
It almost reminds me a little bit of like Second Life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's similar to like Second Life or The Sims, sort of. But yeah, this is like an entire world that's completely tied to blockchain and to cryptocurrency. And it's just super interesting to see how, I don't know, it's really kind of, I wonder if that could really become a thing. Because they always talked about like EVE Online, how much money worth of ISK was lost in a giant battle or anything. Mm-hmm. So what if it was a literal cryptocurrency? You know, it was a literal cryptocurrency in that world because it essentially is anyways. You can buy ISK for money, and you can use that ISK in game. So like it is already, but they have it so it's tradable. I'm pretty sure you can get Mana on like Coinbase and things. It's like a tradable thing. But what happens is, and I think I understand this correctly. I was just reading about it. I think they put out like, say 2 billion. I don't know that that's right. I think it was over 2 billion. They put out 2 billion coins. There are some things in this game that literally like evaporate the coin. It takes the coin out of circulation. So in theory, they will continue to go up in price. You know what I mean? Because there's billions to start with, but then you're slowly losing them. And so it keeps driving the price up because there's less supply.
Inflation.
And yeah, Jesse, I definitely think that's part of what they're thinking, because I literally saw a guy who was doing an artist gallery and just put all of his paintings up there, and you could buy them, and he could send you a thing. Yeah, and definitely VR concerts they've messed around with a little bit, and who knows how, because okay, you throw a concert in there, you would have to figure out how to like input all the sound. I'm sure you could figure out something, but then they could pay you in that currency, and you could take that currency and turn it into real money. So it's really kind of bridged that whole divide between gaming and a cryptocurrency, and it's just really weird.
It'd be interesting to earn money while playing a game. I've always wondered if that would ever. I think it's gonna be a thing. It's just a matter of time. It's already gotten, it's kind of touched that a few times already. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you mentioned with like ISK or even like other games that have had a currency. Diablo, that was a fiasco, but they basically had, a real money auction house for a while, which was a travesty, and it didn't work right. But
no, it's exploited. You have to prevent exploitation if you're going to do it.
that was the wrong way to do it. But these companies are already knowing that that's the direction that kind of it's going. All right, and for my last discovery, this one is coming from the Discord, courtesy of our friend Twiggly Bits. Again, this one is about ancient hunters being females, and it's very fascinating. It said there's a discovery of a 9,000-year-old burial of a female hunter, which challenges the prehistoric gender roles. And basically, long story short, they just recently uncovered this, and it was funny. They put her at 17 to 19 years old, somewhere around there, so young, but she had all of the equipment for hunting and all this other stuff, and it was during the Holocene period, early Holocene period.
I'm terrible with like when that would have been, like having any context for it.
Same. But it's cool. They have some pictures of some of the tools that they found. They found they found her body along with another male hunter in the Andes Mountains. And it looked like they were hunting these animals that look like llamas, basically. They're actually still alive. They're in the Andes. They're not like extinct or anything. But it was just a fascinating story about how our preconceived notions of, like, I mean, even the way we were taught growing up, the males were the hunters and the women were the gatherers. And it was probably a lot more, everyone did the same thing, but together, or whoever excelled. Yeah. Everyone did everything. It was like, hey, we got to survive, whoever's good at hunting, go hunt. Whoever's good at quote unquote farming or gathering, go do that. I guess that would be before farming, but they even talked about another area where they had found a lot of remains of hunters. 16 were male and 11 were female. So there's a pretty good portion of the hunters that they had that were female. So I just thought it was a fascinating story, and it was a really good share in the Discord. And also, if you guys have any discoveries that you find throughout the week, join the Discord, follow us on Twitter and let us know there, or join the Podcast Discovery Club on Facebook. Basically, we've tried to have an area that you might feel comfortable to be in, because that's the thing. Some people don't like Twitter. Some people hate Facebook. Some people only have Discord. So we've tried to make this community something that's accessible to everybody. And we really appreciate it when people share their discoveries with us, and we love sharing them with you guys on the podcast. So yeah, join one of the groups. We got all of those links in the podcast notes, and we'd love to hear what you guys discovered. And that's all I've got this week. Zach, you got anything else?
Call the Disco Hotline. Our phone number is 813-708-9118. Call the Disco Hotline. Tell us any cool discoveries you've had this week, or just say hi. We don't really care. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We're having a great time starting out this season, and we will talk to you again next week.
And remember, eat kiwis because it'll make you sleep good.
From the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.